Welcome to the second part of the first round of my tournament, and we're getting right into it with the L39Z Alpha versus the FW190A8. So this is, I believe they call the Anton. And the L39, I believe, is technically a ground attack aircraft, but he's got some guns there, and they're going to dogfight a little bit here, which is kind of interesting. They have a couple of a merge and a near merge. I'm not exactly sure where they are in relation to each other right now. It's hard to keep track of both of them. And I like watching them here. I don't have attack view. I've thought about getting it for this kind of stuff, and I probably should. But I kind of like watching the airplanes. Attack view would be very handy though for these tournaments. I should invest in that. So I believe this guy has position now. No, he does not. It's like the L39 has managed to. I cut some out of the middle there, but L39 has definitely gotten in position here, and it looks like he's just trying to get the geometry right for the kill. Which is impressive. He can get fairly slow, it looks like. Let's see if I can find... I can't find the L39 back there. He's got leading pursuit going on here. Looks like there it is. That was a good string. And got him to fly right through it. So, that guy's dead. L39 is going to move on. So next we've got the... we're going to have the P-51 Mustang versus the F-14 Tomcat. And these are always kind of interesting to me because you know, obviously the Tomcat could just run away. Has the power to climb and get away, stay out of bad position, but can't fly forever. So okay, he's got some hits early on. He's gonna go vertical, which is probably smart whenever you've got the speed and the power. He's popping flares, you know, because you don't want to chance it. Okay, he's rolling back around. I'm not sure where the Mustang wound up. I thought there was going to be a second merge there, but there's not. He's got some damage, but he's still flying. Oh, there we go. There we see them both. Nope, can't see anything there. Okay, the Mustang was almost in a good position there, but not quite fast enough. Not quite there. Can't keep enough speed, obviously, to get there or stay there. So, looks like our Tomcat's going to run away, do the patented full afterburner, make some distance, turn around and do another merge. Kind of a maneuver or move. Question is, how far will he go? Keep popping flares, always pop flares. And it looks like he's turning back in. Yep, wings are sweeping back out. He's going to do another pass head on at the Mustang, it looks like. I cannot see the Mustang. It's always hard to pick them out. So now it's just a matter of lining up. Ooh, heavy burst. It looked like the Mustang fired some shots back, so that was kind of cool, but definitely got taken out. So the Tomcat's going to move on here to the next round. Mustang will go to the loser's bracket. Okay, so now we've got a very similar fight. We've got SU-33 versus, what is this? Is this the D9? It's one of those FW-190s. I don't have the sheet up right now, so I don't think it's the Anton. It's the other one. Can't really remember what that is. So I thought I had my finished SU-33 skin, but this is kind of an incomplete one. So this fight actually wound up going very, very long, and it was very, very frustrating because hardly any shots were fired, and it was basically just a rinse and repeat where the SU-33 would make a pass and then do the runaway routine, get some distance. Instead of going straight, they would always do this kind of gradual climbing curve, then turn back around, make another pass. The FW-190 took a few shots here and there. The SU-33 took a few shots here and there. They did. This went on for like 30 minutes. But then, unfortunately, the FW-190 started flying straight back to base. The SU-33 started following it, but then didn't actually follow it. They took two different paths. Coming in for the landing, you can see the fireball over there. The FW-190 ran out of fuel and crashed. And then this guy decided to pull an F-18 Hornet move, and he couldn't decide if he wanted to put his gear down and go slow, or have his gear down and go fast, or have his gear up and go slow, or have his gear up and go fast. And he couldn't figure out which direction he wanted to go. And he eventually ran out of fuel as well, which was really, really disheartening. This was the worst fight by far. No lie, it was a 30-minute fight, and they both ran out of fuel. Nobody took any damage. Obviously, the SU-33 moves on because he was the last one to crash, but I don't get the AI, man. I really don't get it sometimes. Alright, moving on. We've got the Gazelle versus the SU-27 flanker, and this Gazelle really has no chance here. Unless he can get that door gunner. He could, like, if these were players, if these were, one human pilot in the flanker and a human pilot in the Gazelle with a human gunner on the gun, it's possible. It's not probable, but it's possible that this door gunner could get some shots on the flanker. But they made a pass. I thought the flanker was going to run away. It didn't really look like he was wanting to engage, but then he turned back in. And I actually had to record this twice because I missed it the first time. I could not tell where that helicopter was. But there it is. Coming up head on. Oh man, he missed with most of those, but got the rotor with like one bullet, maybe two. So there you go. Flanker's moving on. No big surprise there. The poor Gazelle. And now we have a MiG-21 dropping what I'm pretty sure are gun pods. I mean, he's still got a cannon. He's not quite pulling the Saab Viggen maneuver, going weaponless. And against the Spitfire, this one, I didn't have a lot of hope for the Spitfire, but I wanted to hope for the Spitfire. I really like the Supermarine Spitfire. quite possibly the most beautiful plane ever made. And I think that that's almost undisputed. I mean, I know not everybody would agree, but that is just absolutely a fantastic airplane with so much history as well. And not to mention that, but you could do entire series of videos on the Hawker Hurricane and the Supermarine Spitfire and the Battle of Britain. Obviously, series of videos have been done. But here we go again with popping flares, going really, really fast to get away and to turn back around. So here from the Spitfire's perspective, we've got no shots being fired. They couldn't quite get lined up. There we go again from the Spitfire's perspective. And some cannon rounds missed there from the what is that, the fish bed? MiG-21. I really like the fire popping out of those exhaust ports. There we had some shots fired. Not any hits so far that I can tell, but some good action. You know, even though it's kind of repetitive, they keep doing head-on passes at each other. There's a little bit of good action there, so that's pretty cool. I think here we're going to look at it from the MiG-21's perspective as he dives. You know, the faster jets are always climbing, and so they wind up diving in the pass, and the piston engines are climbing. And there you see it, pretty quick burst with a really solid hit. That's a powerful cannon. Knocked a wing off, it looked like. So he's moving on. Oh, and I spoke too soon. I think I spoiled this one, because I gave this guy, I'm certain those are gun pods. But we got the Saab Viggen against the F-86 Sabre. And here we go with the merge. And there goes the gun pods. Now, maybe those aren't gun pods. I'm pretty sure they are. I haven't researched it. But if they're not gun pods, then somebody in that Air Force really needs to figure out what's going on. You got to have some gun pods if you're not going to have an onboard cannon. So anyway, now this guy's tooling around with absolutely no weapons. And he's really fast. The Viggen is really fast. So they flew around for like 15 minutes, and what happened eventually was this guy was coming in for a landing, and the F-86 is all over him but can't quite get there. And he's flying over the top of him. He passed him. Climbs, gains a lot of altitude, and it's can be really hard to get back on target there. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a default win for the F-86 just because the Viggen lands. As I'm trying to really struggling to get my camera set back up, F-86 starts popping some shots and just destroys the AJS. So it wound up being okay in the end, but it was a really boring fight. 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes of a boring fight. These will get better as we get through the old bracket. But now we've got the VF-109 and the F-5 Tiger II, and this is a long fight, and I left it all in here because it's a pretty good fight. And I may not talk much during it. We have the merge, nobody shoots, they both kind of weave away from each other. Tiger goes into a climb. Now here, this one's a little bit more interesting because the Tiger's not as powerful versus the piston engine fighter as what we've previously had. Now obviously it's pretty powerful, but it's not just a missile basically. It's pretty fast, it's agile. I don't know that I would say it's a closer matchup, but you might be able to make that argument. So they both climbed, they both kind of dove around, and then here the F-5 finds himself in a really bad position, and this Messerschmitt is like Dead-Eye Dick. Look at that, he's Annie freaking Oakley. And just walks those bullets up onto the Tiger and gets multiple hits. like a dadgum sniper, which was impressive. It was really impressive. So at this point, he still got position. He made a nice loop there and stayed inside, still got pretty good position. And here I'm thinking, it's happening again. The F5 kind of does another sort of a different maneuver. Makes some distance. He's all chewed up, but still flying. So maybe he can make it. But he's got a big fight ahead of him. So I was quiet there for about a minute. There wasn't much different going on. They're just flying around trying to get position. I've kind of lost track of where everybody is right now in relation to each other. I think that the Tiger is in a better position now, so that's why I'm behind it looking forward. I'm having trouble finding the Messerschmitt though. Oh, he's down there. And he got him. The F5, that was more of a merge kind of a shot. So instead of one being offensive and the other defensive, they were kind of coming back at each other. And the Tiger's moving on, which I'm kind of happy about. I have a lot of love for these World War II fighters, but for the sake of the bracket itself, I'd rather have more closer matches going forward. It's interesting to see how helicopters do against supersonic jets sometimes, but it's no real surprise when they don't do well. So I'm hoping better planes move on more often, or more comparable planes do. So that is the bottom half of the bracket, and we'll see everybody again for the next round.